Today's review is one of the last beers from the new Tesco range, and this is a double IPA called Ultra Phase. It's 8.5%, but what's it going to be like? It's from North Brewery, so we expect good things. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. Today we're reviewing Ultra Phase, this sort of slightly Star Trek themed beer from North Brewing. It's a double IPA, and you know, North have got a good pedigree of double IPAs in supermarkets. They're I always remember what it's called, something Lens. A Lens double IPA was very good that they had in there. It was in Morrison's, very good. So this is it says a luscious double IPA made with USA and Australian hops, saturated in honeydew melon, green grape and pink grapefruit flavour with a lasting citrus finish. So it says it's with US and Australian hops, it doesn't say which ones. Melon and grape, and you're expecting things like, you know, the New Zealand hops, but it doesn't say New Zealand hops. So maybe you're looking at your Enigma and Galaxy and stuff like that. USA, honeydew melon, pink grapefruit, things like Talus is always a big pink grapefruit. But anyway, let's crack it open, get it in the glass. Maybe we'll get some sense of it. All I want to know is it going to be good? I've heard that it is. So let's see if it lives up to the expectations. Double IPA, £3.75 this was, so not bad at all in terms of price. And I've poured it well too quickly. I need to move my camera back. There we go. You can see it a bit better there. Okay, so we've got like an ice cream looking 99. All that's missing is a flake. But what you can see of the colour, it's a lovely orange, peachy coloured, quite thick. As I say, I've got about 4 fingers of head there that hopefully will probably go down. But it's pretty compacted. Let's see if we can get some aromas from that. Yeah, it smells lots of grapefruit. Citrus fruits like lemons and limes. Smells quite good. Very sort of citrusy, and grapefruit is definitely an upfront sort of aroma. Whether it's there's a slight sweetness to that grapefruit aroma, so I think it's more like your pink grapefruit. So I am expecting a flavour of Talus, but let's see what it tastes like. Cheers, everyone. Wow, it's definitely very flavoursome. You know it's a double IPA. It's quite, I'm not saying it tastes sort of alcoholic, but just the flavour and the strength of the fruit flavours that you're getting is quite strong. So you know that there's a little bit of warmth in there. So you know you're drinking a double IPA. Really soft. Low levels of carbonation, but it's got a nice sort of, I mean, obviously the way I've poured it maybe, but it's, you know, you're drinking it and you're getting that sort of slightly foam creamness about it. It's pretty good. Flavour wise, grapefruit is all over this in terms of flavour, but it is definitely more that sort of pink grapefruit. It's not that sharp sort of zest or, you know, bitterness of grapefruit rind. It's very much that pulpy pink grapefruit, that little bit of sweetness. Again, I always worry when I read the can and it says melon, and I think, yeah, it's got melon in it, so I can taste that. But whether that's the can telling me that I think I can taste it, there's definitely a slight twang of a sort of honeydew melon, that sort of very distinct flavour. There is a little bit of grape in there. There's a real sort of that fresh sort of green, sort of a green flavour, you know. It's got a very sort of fresh sort of taste to it. I don't know, I mean, but when it comes to actually determining whether I know what hops are in it, I don't know if I don't think I can really pick them out. There is a sort of dank, sweaty, almost oiliness to it that sort of almost overpowers some of those flavours. You get that hint of pink grapefruit sweetness, but that flavour itself dials down to this bit more earthy, dank, sort of overripe and slightly sweaty sort of fruit flavour. And it's quite difficult to pick out the flavour, the other flavours. Definitely there's a little bit of melon in it, and there's a lot of mango flavour as well. I would almost say that mango is is a pretty dominant flavour with this. So I am really thinking it's probably got Galaxy. It's got that very chewy stone fruit sort of flavour like Galaxy gives off. Probably has got Talus, but a little bit of it. And I got to admit, I'm starting to get a little bit of that little bit of hop burn there. It's a very hoppy beer. There's a lot of hops going into this to give all those sort of flavours off. A little bit of hop burn, but it is generally very smooth, very creamy. Is it my sort of thing? I mean, again, the other one with Lens in it, which I must remember what it's called, something Lens. I mentioned it to someone today on YouTube, and I can't even remember what it was called. Was very good, but it was quite light. This is not light. This is medium-bodied, real sort of chewy, a typical double IPA in terms of that flavour. Almost like there's so much sort of, it feels like there's so much sort of hops in there to create all that fruit and juice flavours, but there's so much packing together that some they get a bit muddled really in terms of their unique profile. It's certainly a drink that I think you want to sit and really savour. Whereas the other North was a little bit more light and a little bit more refreshing. This isn't. This is definitely feels a little bit heavy, but it's still pretty good. And for a supermarket beer, lots of flavour. $3.75. I mean, show me a double IPA that you can pick up from a bottle shop for $3.75. I don't think I've ever seen one. You know, you don't really see double IPAs under a $5 if you go to a bottle shop or even an online bottle shop. They are more expensive because, to some extent, it's almost like drinking two beers, you know, when they're 8.5%. This is at a higher level. It's almost getting up to the sort of triple, really. It's that sort of 10% level. But 8.5% is at the top end of a double IPA. Lots of flavour, lots of fruit, lots of hoppy sort of tastes in there as well. A little bit of warmth, a little bit of maybe burn in there. But it's a pretty solid beer, and there's a lot gone into this for £3.75. I don't know where they get their margins from. I think I've tasted enough though. Let's get some scores. Okay, the scores are in for Ultra Phase Double IPA from the North Brewing, 8.5%, $3.75, quite cheap. Let's go through the scores quickly. Aroma first. Well, you expect from a double IPA, lots of sweaty stone fruits, mangoes, there's grapefruit all over it. There's a lot of aroma going on, but it's almost, apart from the grapefruit really and that sort of stone fruit general sort of dankness, I suppose, that's the main sort of aroma. There's nothing bright and light in terms of aroma, but it's pretty good. I'm giving it a 12 out of 20. Appearance wise, well, okay, I poured it badly, but actually looking at it now, it's a lovely sort of orangey colour with a nice sort of frothy line of head, which you don't always get with a double IPA that's sort of fairly well retained. I'm giving it a solid 8 for appearance. Flavour-wise, like the aroma really. I mean, it's a fairly sort of medium to thick body, soft carbonation, lots of stone fruits. In fact, when I first tasted it, I thought there was more grapefruit, but the grapefruit sort of mellowing out a little bit, but then the stone fruits, you get more peach and mango and apricot coming in. There's some other citrus fruits in there. There is this sort of melon flavour in there as well, maybe a little bit of grape, a little bit, but maybe I'm just letting the can tell me what I think I'm here tasting. It's a very sort of, it's typical in terms of a double IPA's dank, sweaty, over-ripened fruit flavours that are all mashed together really to sort of create this sort of very strong flavour, but difficult to really characterise. Still pretty solid. 33 I'm giving it for flavour. Value for money. Well, as I say, this beer was $3.75. You won't find a double IPA cheaper than that. Is it the best double IPA I've had? Probably not, but in turn, and I still think the other one, which I remembered, is called Abstract Lens, the other double IPA from North, I think was better. It was more suited in terms of what I would prefer. But this is much more that sort of sweaty, sort of strong flavour. But in terms of value, I think I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 because $3.75, there's not many double IPAs that you can get outside the supermarkets. Even within the supermarkets, they're usually a little bit more. So I think that's a pretty good value at 9 out of 10. And my overall experience, well, as I said, I thought maybe I had higher expectations of this, but it's definitely if you like double IPAs, I think it'll go down well. I certainly don't feel like that they've skimped on like the hops or, you know, the flavour. There's a lot of very strong fruit flavors. You know you're getting, you know there's 8.5% ABV in this, because you can tell there's a little bit of warmth, but it's very, very hoppy. There's loads of hoppies. Maybe even, you could even say it's a little bit green, because you get a real dank, sort of sweaty flavored. Now, like, some people love all that, but I want a little bit more refreshment. So I'm knocking that back a few points because of that to 12 for my overall experience. Top the scores up. It's a 74. It's a recommended beer. Maybe, I don't think I will probably buy this again. I'm not, you know, a double IPA is got to do something a little bit special. Seems a bit, it's not really my sort of thing, you know. It's just a little bit too stone fruit powered and overly ripened fruit flavors, very dank. If you like that sort of thing, I know there's a lot of people do, then they really like it. But 74 is the total score. Not bad. Recommended. Still recommended. Still a good beer. Supermarket beer. I think it's commended. It's not a watered down double IPA that's like less than £4. It's definitely a full flavoured beer. Not bad at all. But let me know if you've had this before. I know there's some people out there that are raving about this. I've had a few and think it's really good. For me, not really my sort of thing. I just want a little bit more refreshment from my beers. So I'll be sticking to more of the sort of IPAs for me. So that's it for today. And actually, the only one I've got left from the Tesco haul is that Welsh one, which I don't think I've seen any reviews for. I don't know if it's brand new, but it just appeared, so I probably will review that. Not sure. It's an American Pale Ale, so I'm expecting that to be a bit more traditional in terms of its sort of profile and everything. But that's to be the last one, and then we've got, then I'll be going back onto the bottle shop stuff. Still got a couple of those, still got a few actually, reviews I've done before this video, but I've saved them to get the supermarket ones out. So I hope that's enough for today. We've got a slightly different angle. Hope you enjoyed this video, and until the next one, you know what you're gonna do. Keep on rocking.